September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we tried forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine. Sunny day dreams and we up now. Vodka lemonade, I served it up, it goes down. 75.
Hi Ashes family, welcome back to our channel. If you are watching us for the first time, then welcome. Please hit the subscribe button to join the Ashes family. As you can tell by the title that today is another Angelina story time, but we will be telling her birth story.
You may or may not know, but we were actually in Australia, Adelaide, at the time Mol gave birth to Angelina. We only planned to be there for 3 to 4 days so we can farewell our mission president who was heading back to America, but we ended up staying there for about 4 to 5 months. So it was pretty lengthy.
So the night I went into labor, my husband actually asked if I wanted to go see a movie. I was really tired, and so I didn't want to go, and I told him to go watch a movie, and he's like, nah, you're staying, so I'm gonna stay. I got really mad and I was like, no, you go. If you want to watch a movie, you go watch a movie. I am fine staying home by myself, because I didn't want to kill his buzz. Like, you know, his on holidays. If he wants to go to the movies, then go to the movies. Anyways, off he went to the movie, and straight after he left, I fell asleep, and that was just how tired I was. I didn't wake up again until he got home. So when he got home, you got ready for bed, and then he came into the bed with me, and straight away when he hopped into the bed, I woke up and I started feeling this very heavy pain in my stomach, and I just thought it was really like weird. I think I was thinking it was weird, but then very scary as well at the same time. And then I went to the bathroom. My husband was like, we need to go to the hospital. But I didn't think anything of it, so I was like, no, we are not. I want to sleep, so we're staying here.
She was being really stubborn about it. I knew, like, because of the pain that she was going through, that we needed to go to the hospital, so pretty much had to drag the poor young woman into the car, and we shot off to the hospital. And I remember putting into the GPS the hospital, because I didn't know where we were going, and it directed us to like this hospital that had closed like way earlier. And so we're like, damn bro, like in Adelaide the hospital's not go overnight. And we ended up actually calling the ambulance and asking them, like, oh, we're at this place, we need to know where the nearest hospital is. And so they're like, oh, you're actually just at a medical practitioner. But I guess that's how much of in a panic we were. And so they said to me, they're like, do you want us to send an ambulance? And I was like, how far is the hospital away? And they're like, it's about 3 or 4 minutes away from me. I was like, hell no, I'm just going to drive there. Wait for you in the ambulance. We drove to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, and when we got in there, my wife was still in pain, having these sharp pains in her stomach. And the lady that we saw there, she was so nasty, man. No, she wasn't so nasty, but like my wife went up to her and she was doing the inspections on my wife, and the first thing she was doing, she was like asking her, she's like, what is your name? And I was like, her name's Lotamo. And she's like, excuse me, sir, I'm not asking you, I'm asking her. And I was like, does it look like she can talk? Like she's screaming and in so much pain. Do you reckon she's gonna want to give you her name?
And this lady that was already assessing me, she got another lady. She was calling out for another lady, and the lady that came to help her was a midwife. It was actually a midwife. And I remember that the first thing that midwife said was, she's going to be an early one. The baby was going to be an early one. And I remembered that clearly because she kept saying that over and over again. And yeah, that was when it hit. That's when it started getting really scary. And then she was worried as well, to the point where they called the ambulance. And then the ambulance came and took me to a Women's and Children's Hospital.
And so Mol was transferred to the Adelaide Women's and Children's Hospital, and she went in the ambulance and I had to drive our car over. And I remember thinking on the way, man, it was so funny at the time. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but I remember thinking, Heavenly Father, if you look after my wife and my baby, I'll never go to the movies again. I'll never go to the movies again. Now I was making all these promises to him, but we ended up getting to the hospital, and the doctors were actually giving Mo some shots and some drugs to help with baby coming early, because a baby's body at that gestation, she was only 23 weeks, is so underdeveloped. They wanted to give her some drugs so it can improve her lungs, her brain, a lot of things. And so yeah, I walked in and Mo was getting those shots. From there, they took us to the delivery suite, because they were telling us there's a really high chance that baby will be coming that evening or the next morning. So not long after we arrived in the delivery suite, it was about 1 a.m. in the morning, Mo's water actually broke. And it was crazy because we were actually really tired at the time. But straight after her waters broke, we fell asleep for a good 5 or 6 hours. It wasn't until like early in the morning, it was about 7 o'clock, Mo started having the contractions, her pains again. And that's when the doctors knew that she was going to give birth to Angelina.
Straight after we woke up, I pretty much started contractions again. And then it was literally not long after that. So remember, we woke up at 7 o'clock and Angelina was born at 7:20. There was this really nice nurse that was in there. From the time we got into the birth suit room up until I gave birth to Angelina, she stayed with us the whole time, and she was like crying with us. She was meant to finish earlier, but she didn't. She just wanted to be there throughout the whole time. And by this time, the room is really packed, full of other nurses and doctors who were just now coming in.
I remember seeing Angelina for the very first time, and she was really, really tiny. And she had this really, really dark skin. And we found out later on that she was actually bruised from coming out so early. And she didn't even come out head first, which is the way babies usually come out. She came out bum first. So she was really, really bruised.
Yeah.
The first doctor that actually approached us after Mo had given birth to her, he asked us what we wanted to do. And so he gave us 2 options. One of the options was to let us hold her and she dies peacefully with us, because her lungs were really weak and she had a really faint pulse. Or the other option was to put her on a ventilator and see if she would breathe again and her pulse will pick up. And of course we're like, what the hell? Like, we don't just want to let our daughter die. And so we're like, yeah, we'll definitely chuck her on the ventilator. And he told us, he's like, there's actually a high chance that she won't respond and that she won't start breathing again, and it could be really painful for her. But we decided to definitely go ahead with it because we didn't want to give up on our daughter. And as soon as he put the ventilator into her mouth, into her lungs, she started to respond. He's like, oh, it sounded really surprised. He's like, oh, she's actually breathing again. And so that was the biggest sigh of relief. Then from there, they took her into the NICU.
I was honestly very scared. I've never been so scared in my life. At this point, when they took her, I actually haven't seen her yet. My husband has. I was definitely glad that we gave our daughter a chance to live. Which was a really dumb question that they asked. I don't know why they would ask anybody that, but we were glad that we took the chance straight away to tell them to chuck her on the ventilator. And to see how she goes. If she didn't go so well, then of course we wouldn't have forced it to the point where it would be really painful for her. But to giving her that chance was all we wanted.
And at the time, the doctors would have never thought we had the amount of time that we actually ended up having with her, which was 5 months of our daughter's life that we were able to spend with her. But like my wife said, definitely glad we took that opportunity.
That was our Angelina story time today. We hope you enjoy. There are definitely more story times to come, so continue to stay tuned for that.
That is right, Ashes family. Stay tuned for our next Angelina's story time. Until then, if you want to see more from us, like we said at the beginning, hit that subscription button and turn on your post notifications. We appreciate you, Ashes family. We love you. Thank you.